What if the world's most mysterious tribes are living right under our noses, with knowledge and traditions so unique that they defy modern understanding? From nomadic herders in the Arctic Circle to rainforest survivors with an uncanny connection to nature, these tribes have cultures that have persisted for centuries. But what happens when their way of life is challenged by forces beyond their control? Stay tuned as we dive into the extraordinary lives of these resilient tribes, their secrets, and the threats they face today. Number 1. Sami Tribe. In the far reaches of the Arctic Circle, where the land stretches into an endless expanse of tundra and taiga, lives a people whose culture has flourished for thousands of years, the Sami. Spanning across the northern parts of Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Russia, the Sami have long adapted to the harsh conditions of the Arctic, developing a unique way of life that remains deeply connected to the land. Central to the Sami's way of life is the practice of reindeer herding. For generations, the Sami have followed the migration patterns of reindeer, moving with the herds across vast territories. This nomadic lifestyle has influenced almost every aspect of their culture, from their traditional clothing to their spiritual beliefs. The reindeer isn't just a source of food, it's a symbol of survival, a connection to the land, and a key part of their identity. The Sami people speak a language unlike any other, with several dialects spoken across their homeland. The language itself is deeply intertwined with the natural environment, with a remarkable vocabulary designed to describe the Arctic landscape, its animals, and its seasons. Their art, too, is shaped by the same environment. Traditional Sami crafts include intricate wood carvings, vibrant textiles, and silver jewelry, often made from reindeer bone. But perhaps the most captivating aspect of Sami culture is their music. The joik, a traditional form of song, is not just music, it's a means of connecting with the world around them. However, the Sami have faced immense challenges in recent years. Climate change, resource extraction, and pressures from cultural assimilation have all threatened their traditional way of life. Despite these challenges, the Sami have become leaders in the global movement for indigenous rights. They continue to advocate for greater self-determination and the protection of their land, culture, and way of life. Their resilience is a testament to the strength of indigenous peoples everywhere. As we become more aware of the need to protect cultural diversity and preserve knowledge passed down through generations, the Sami offers a valuable lesson in adaptability and sustainability. While the Sami continue to fight for their way of life in the Arctic, the Awá are facing a fight for survival deep in the Brazilian Amazon, where their ancient way of life is being slowly erased. Stay tuned. Number 2. Awá Tribe. Deep in the heart of the Brazilian Amazon, there exists a tribe whose survival has become a symbol of resilience, the Awá. These endangered hunter-gatherers are among the last of their kind, living a way of life that has remained largely unchanged for thousands of years. The Awá are nomadic, moving through the dense, sprawling rainforest in small family groups. Their survival depends on their deep knowledge of the jungle. They hunt wild game using bows and arrows, taking down peccaries, monkeys, and other animals with precision. They also gather fruits, nuts, and plants, many of which have medicinal properties known only to those who have lived in the forest for generations. Their relationship with nature is one of symbiosis. They don't just live in the jungle, they are part of it. Yet, this harmonious existence is under threat. In recent decades, the Awa's traditional homeland has been ravaged by illegal logging, mining, and the ever-expanding reach of agriculture. As the rainforest is destroyed, so too is the Awa's way of life. Even more troubling, the Awá are increasingly coming into direct conflict with outsiders, people who view the tribe as an obstacle to progress. The Awa's resistance is not just a fight for survival, but a battle for their identity and cultural heritage. The situation has reached a point where their land is so encroached upon that the Brazilian government and organizations like Survival International are urgently advocating for their protection. Before we move on to the next tribe, I have a special 10-second request for all of you listening. If you can help me in any way, just press the notification bell and hit that subscribe button. It means the world. It really supports this channel, and if you do that for me, I promise my team and I will do everything we can to make this show even better for you. Deal? Number 3. Himba Tribe. Deep in the Kunene region of northern Namibia lies one of the world's most fascinating and mysterious tribes, the Himba. The Himba people are primarily cattle herders, and their very existence revolves around their livestock. This nomadic lifestyle forces them to constantly move in search of water and grazing land. In many ways, their connection to their cattle is more than just economic, it's spiritual. The Himba's reliance on their herds also keeps them independent, as they avoid the agricultural and urbanized communities that surround them. One of the most remarkable aspects of Himba culture is their use of ochre paste, known as otjais. This red paste, made from ochre butterfat and herbs, is applied to their skin and hair. The paste gives the Himba a distinctive reddish hue, which is not just for aesthetic purposes, it's also an important cultural and practical tool. The ochre acts as a sunscreen, protecting their skin from the intense desert sun while also keeping insects at bay. The Himba people also have a distinctive style of dress, with women adorning themselves with intricate jewelry made from beads, shells, and leather. This clothing tells a story of status and identity, with each piece of jewelry carefully chosen and crafted. Men, on the other hand, wear very little clothing. Women traditionally wear a loincloth and cover their hair with the ochre paste. Socially, the Himba are organized into clans with a patriarchal structure. Yet, within the family, women wield considerable influence. They are the managers of the household, controlling domestic duties like food, shelter, and the raising of children. Women also play a key role in maintaining the herds and managing the dairy cows that form the backbone of their society. When it comes to marriage, men often have multiple wives. The Himba people have faced significant challenges, especially in recent decades. Modern development, colonial legacies, and the pressures of globalization have affected their way of life. Some Himba communities have embraced new technologies, while others remain steadfast in their traditional ways. Land disputes are another major issue. For example, the construction of the Apupa Dam near Himba territory threatens to displace the tribe from their ancestral lands. This project, supported by both the Namibian government and environmental groups, has sparked fierce controversy. With their traditional land at risk, the Himba face an uncertain future. What do you think the future holds for the Himba people? Can they maintain their traditional way of life in the face of modernization and land disputes? Let us know in the comments below. Number 4. Asaro Mudmen Tribe. In the remote eastern highlands of Papua New Guinea, there exists a tribe whose warriors have captivated the world with their unique and eerie appearance, the Asaro Tribe. Known as the Mudmen, these fearsome fighters have become legends, not only in their homeland but also across the globe. The Asaro Mudmen are famous for their elaborate, grotesque masks and their practice of covering their bodies in thick mud. The origin of this tradition is rooted in a powerful legend. Once the Asaro tribe faced a crushing defeat at the hands of a neighboring tribe. As they fled to the Asaro River, they emerged from the muddy waters, their bodies caked in clay. When their enemies saw them, they were so terrified by the ghostly, monstrous figures before them that they fled in fear. From that moment on, the Asaro tribe began using mud not just as camouflage but as a form of psychological warfare. The masks worn by the Mudmen are crafted from clay, often with exaggerated features meant to strike fear into the hearts of their enemies. Each mask is unique, a reflection of the warrior's identity and his standing within the tribe. When the Mudmen prepare for battle, they cover their entire bodies in mud, creating an unsettling, otherworldly image. But there's more to this than just fear tactics. The mud also served a practical purpose, offering some protection against arrows and spears during battle. The Mudmen's guerrilla-style tactics, emerging from dense jungle and disappearing just as quickly, made them nearly impossible to defeat. It wasn't until the mid-20th century, around the 1950s and 1960s, that the Asaro Mudmen were introduced to the wider world. When Western anthropologists and explorers first documented the tribe's existence, the Mudmen shocked people unfamiliar with such a display. Today, the Asaro Mudmen face a different kind of challenge. As modernization spreads throughout Papua New Guinea, the younger generation of the tribe is increasingly drawn to education and employment opportunities outside their traditional customs. Like many indigenous communities, the Asaro must now balance the preservation of their culture with the pressures of a changing world. Number 5. Korowai Tribe. Deep within the dense rainforests of Papua, Indonesia, lives a tribe that has fascinated explorers and anthropologists for decades, the Korowai Tribe. Known for their remarkable treehouses, these towering structures are built high above the forest floor, reaching heights of up to 150 feet. Access to these treehouses is no easy feat. The Korowai rely on precarious ladders crafted from branches and vines which lead up to homes perched on tall trees. One explanation for this is that these homes provided protection from rival tribes, but also from mosquitoes, pests, and even invisible forces believed to dwell on the forest floor. For many years, the Korowai were shrouded in mystery, partly because they remained largely isolated from the outside world. It wasn't until the 1970s that anthropologists and outsiders began making regular contact with the tribe. Even in the 1990s, many Korowai still lived in complete isolation, unaware of the modern world. One of the most sensational claims about the Korowai is that they practiced rites involving the deceased. Initial reports suggested that they did so as a way to free deceased loved ones. Yet recent studies have challenged this narrative, suggesting that these practices were either exaggerated or misunderstood by early explorers. Beyond their intriguing lifestyle, the Korowai are skilled hunter-gatherers. They hunt wild pigs, deer, and other forest animals using bows and arrows. Sago, a starch derived from the sago palm, forms a staple part of their diet. But there's more. These artisans are also known for their intricate wood carvings, crafting beautiful objects from the very trees that surround them. While the Korowai tribe builds towering homes on the treetops to escape danger, the Moken tribe lives above the waves, navigating the seas with an uncanny connection to the water. What can we learn from these cultures that thrive in the face of nature's most unpredictable forces? Stay tuned. Number 6. Moken Tribe. The Moken Tribe, often called sea nomads, are an indigenous group primarily found along the coastal regions of Thailand and Myanmar. Living in small, floating villages, the Moken have long moved between the islands of the Andaman Sea, navigating the waters in ways that seem almost mystical. Their homes are often built on stilts or boats, designed to adapt to the rhythms of the tide. They depend on fishing and shellfish gathering for food, and their lives are intricately tied to the marine ecosystem. One of the most fascinating features of the Moken tribe is their remarkable ability to see underwater. Moken children, in particular, have been shown to possess the extraordinary ability to see clearly underwater, without goggles. This is no myth. Scientific studies have confirmed that this skill is due to their early and constant immersion in the sea, which has physically adapted their eyes over generations. But the Moken aren't just remarkable for their vision, they also possess an exceptional understanding of the sea and its patterns. Their knowledge of weather, tides, and marine life is passed down through generations, and it's this connection that has allowed them to navigate the often unpredictable waters of the Andaman Sea. It's a way of life that, in many ways, seems to defy modern understanding of what it means to live in harmony with nature. However, the Moken tribe has faced significant challenges in recent decades. The forces of modernization, climate change, and government policies have forced many to leave their traditional lifestyles behind. Displaced from their floating villages, many Moken now find themselves in urban settings, struggling to hold on to their culture and way of life. One of the most striking examples of their deep understanding of the natural world came in the wake of the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. While many communities were caught off guard, the Moken were able to predict the disaster. Some individuals reportedly recognized early warning signs, such as unusual animal behavior and changes in the sea, that led them to flee to higher ground. Number 7. Yanomami Tribe. The Yanomami, one of the largest and most isolated tribes in the Amazon rainforest, have long fascinated anthropologists and ecologists alike. Spanning the border between Brazil and Venezuela, the Yanomami have managed to preserve their traditional way of life for centuries, despite growing pressures from the outside world. A striking feature of Yanomami society is its complex system of alliances and exchanges. The tribe is divided into multiple subgroups, each with its own set of relationships, alliances, and rivalries that are crucial to their social fabric. These bonds are maintained through elaborate rituals, including the construction of shabanos, large circular communal dwellings where entire families live together, fostering cooperation and deep social ties. Beyond their social structure, the Yanomami are also known for their profound understanding of the Amazon's ecology. For centuries, they have closely observed the intricate relationships between the plants, animals, and natural cycles of the rainforest, using this knowledge to sustain their way of life. One of the tribe's most important practices is shifting cultivation, clearing small patches of forest for agriculture, then allowing the land to rest and regenerate before replanting. This sustainable farming method has helped them maintain balance with nature for generations. Unfortunately, the Yanomami's way of life is under serious threat. Illegal logging and mining have rapidly encroached upon their land, with devastating consequences. Perhaps the most alarming issue is illegal gold mining. Gold prospectors have flooded the Yanomami territory, spreading diseases, contaminating rivers with toxic mercury, and causing severe environmental damage. What do you think is the most important lesson we can learn from the Yanomami relationship with their environment? Let us know in the comments below. Number 8. DrokpaTribe. The Drokpa Tribe, one of the world's most unique and lesser-known communities, resides in the rugged, high-altitude regions of northern India, primarily in the Ladakh region. Specifically, they live in areas like Dashanu along the Indus River, situated at over 3,000 meters above sea level in the western Himalayas. There are also Drokpas living across the border in Tibet and China. The Drokpas are believed to be descendants of ancient Indo-Aryans, making them distinct from other local groups. A striking feature of Drokpa culture is their clothing, woolen robes, colorful shawls, and large decorative hats made of wool. These garments are more than just functional, they reflect the tribe's deep connection to their environment and their traditions. While many of their neighbors follow Tibetan Buddhism, the Drokpas practice a form that predates Buddhism. Their beliefs include elements of animism and Bon, the indigenous religion of Tibet. However, Tibetan Buddhism has also found its place in Drokpa communities, blending with their older traditions. The Drokpas are primarily pastoralists, raising sheep, goats, and yaks. They also farm, cultivating barley, wheat, and peas, all essential for survival in such a cold, harsh climate. Linguistically, the Drokpas speak a language from the Dardic group, a branch of the larger Indo-Aryan family. This language, distinct from the Tibetan dialects spoken by their neighbors, is a key marker of their identity. Despite their strong cultural identity, the Drokpas face significant challenges today. Modernization, tourism, and climate change are all impacting their way of life. While tourism has brought some economic benefits, it has also led to environmental degradation and cultural dilution. The construction of new roads and the spread of technology have exposed the Drokpas to outside influences, which could slowly erode their traditional practices. Moreover, climate change is affecting the high-altitude ecosystems on which they depend. Despite these pressures, efforts to preserve Drokpa culture are gaining traction. Festivals like the annual Drokpa Festival in Ladakh showcase their traditional dances, music, and crafts, giving outsiders a rare glimpse into their world. With the help of anthropologists and cultural preservation initiatives, there's hope that the Drokpas can keep their ancient traditions alive. Number 9. Dogon Tribe. In the heart of West Africa, the Dogon Tribe, hailing from the country of Mali, has captivated the world with its unique culture and astonishing knowledge. One of the most striking aspects of the Dogon's belief system is their extraordinary understanding of the Sirius star system, particularly Sirius B. This is a white dwarf star that is invisible to the naked eye and wasn't even confirmed by modern astronomers until the 19th century. Some theories suggest that their knowledge may have come from extraterrestrial sources. Others believe it was passed down through generations of careful observation and oral traditions. The Dogon's cosmology goes far beyond their understanding of the stars. Their intricate belief system integrates elements of animism, ancestor worship, and a pantheon of gods, with myths and stories that explain the origins of the universe and the role of humanity. These oral traditions are passed down carefully from one generation to the next, preserving centuries of knowledge and culture. Architecture is another key feature of Dogon's life. Their villages, built into the cliffs of the Bandiagra escarpment, are home to distinctive mud brick dwellings that have withstood the test of time. The cliffs themselves, rising dramatically above the surrounding landscape, are not just natural barriers but also central to the Dogon's spiritual and cultural identity. And their art, it's as striking as it is meaningful. Intricate wooden masks and sculptures are integral to the Dogon's ceremonies, with each piece carrying symbolic weight and connecting the people to their gods and ancestors. How do you think the Dogon tribe could have gained such detailed knowledge of the Sirius star system centuries before modern astronomy confirmed it? Do you believe it was from ancient observation, or could there be a deeper mystery behind their knowledge? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and follow the channel to discover more interesting things. Number 10. Chukchi Tribe. In the harsh, windswept expanse of the Chukchi Peninsula in northeastern Russia, remarkable people have adapted to one of the most extreme environments on Earth. The Chukchi, a resilient and resourceful group, have lived here for centuries, carving out a life centered around the herding of reindeer. The Chukchi are nomadic, traveling across the vast, treeless tundra, enduring winters so cold that temperatures can plummet well below freezing and summers that are fleeting but intense. So how have they managed to thrive in such a challenging landscape for generations? The answer lies in their deep, symbiotic relationship with reindeer. These animals provide much more than food and clothing. They are also a means of transportation and a source of spiritual significance. In Chukchi culture, reindeer holds an almost mythical status. The tribe's folklore is rich with stories and beliefs that elevate the reindeer to a sacred position, playing central roles in rituals and ceremonies that have been passed down through generations. It's not just about survival, it's about honoring and preserving this bond with nature. But reindeer herding is just one part of the Chukchi lifestyle. They are also expert hunters and fishers, relying on the resources of the tundra and the Arctic Ocean. With a vast knowledge of the land, passed down through oral traditions, they understand the rhythms of nature, how the reindeer migrate, when the fish run, and where to find food in an unforgiving environment. Yet, despite their resilience, the Chukchi face unprecedented challenges today. Climate change is altering the landscape they have depended on for centuries. Rising temperatures and shifting weather patterns are disrupting the delicate balance of the tundra ecosystem, making it harder to predict reindeer migrations and access traditional hunting and fishing grounds. While the Chukchi navigate the frozen tundra with a deep bond to their reindeer, the Maasai of East Africa face a different struggle, one that pits their rich cattle herding traditions against the forces of modernity and environmental change. Number 11. Maasai Tribe. Maasai Tribe, found in Kenya and Tanzania. The Maasai are semi-nomadic herders who have long relied on cattle as the cornerstone of their existence. Cattle are more than just animals to the Maasai, they are symbols of wealth, status, and cultural identity. Cattle feature prominently in rituals and ceremonies and serve as the primary currency in trade. The Maasai speak Ma, a language from the Nilo-Saharan family. Though their native tongue binds them to their cultural heritage, they also speak Swahili and English, especially in regions like Kenya and Tanzania. Historically, the Maasai have faced substantial challenges. During the colonial era, the British imposed land restrictions and altered the Maasai's ability to move freely. Even after independence, the Maasai were forced to confront the growing pressures of modernity, ranging from the push for education to land disputes and the encroachment of urbanization. Today, land remains one of the most pressing issues for the Maasai. Their traditional grazing grounds, once expansive, are now encroached upon by agricultural development and the creation of national parks like the Serengeti and Maasai Mara, areas meant to protect wildlife but which have reduced the Maasai's space to roam. As urbanization continues to rise, Maasai youth are increasingly leaving their rural villages in search of better opportunities in cities. This migration has contributed to shifts in cultural practices, including a gradual decline in the wearing of traditional Maasai attire, like the brightly colored shuka. The Maasai's challenges aren't just about land or culture. Climate change, too, is taking a toll on their way of life. Droughts are becoming more frequent and severe, making it harder for the Maasai to maintain their herds and find grazing land for their cattle. Number 12. Tasaday Tribe. Back in the early 1970s, reports surfaced about a previously unknown tribe living in the dense rainforests of Mindanao, Philippines. Known as the Tasaday, they were portrayed as a Stone Age people, supposedly untouched by modern civilization. The man behind the discovery, Manuel Elizalde, a Philippine government official, claimed he stumbled upon the tribe in 1971. According to Elizalde, Tasaday lived in caves, wore clothes made from leaves, and had no knowledge of farming or metalworking. The idea of an entire society living this way, untouched for thousands of years, sparked a global sensation. Journalists, anthropologists, and curious onlookers from around the world traveled to the Philippines to witness this lost tribe firsthand. However, not everyone was convinced. Over the years, questions began to arise about the authenticity of Elizalde's discovery. Some experts started suggesting that the Tasaday may not have been the primitive people they were made out to be. There were claims that the Tasaday were in fact part of a nearby agricultural community and had been coerced into acting as if they were Stone Age primitives for the sake of publicity. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video that appears on your screen right now. I'm sure you'll love this content. Comment below about the next country you'd like to see featured on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.